It took a long time for me to muster up the energy to record this video. I always knew the hardest part would be just holding it together. But I want to share a story with you about something that changed my life forever, and in more ways than I can even begin to put into words. One really hot, humid night in August of 2017, my 13-month younger brother was making a relatively short trip home from a friend's house. He had just short night of sleep the night before. It was just after midnight. Apparently the vibrations of his motorcycle handlebar and the steady drone of the sound of his bike's engine was soothing enough to where it caused him to fall asleep, and he slowly veered off the road. I won't share all the details of the accident that occurred shortly thereafter, but he was killed instantly. As if the shock alone wasn't enough, to make matters worse, he had been divorced for a while and had full custody of his 4 children, all under the age of 15, including an autistic son. And if that wasn't bad enough, he had just been laid off a month before, and his life insurance from his prior employer had literally just lapsed only 2.5 weeks prior. There was no estate plan, no will, no powers of attorney, nothing. So, being the financial planner in the family, I was tasked with spearheading a plan along with the help of my dad. And we spent the next several weeks, some things took months, just trying to put the pieces back together. Now, this isn't an easy story to tell, and we did manage to make the best we could out of this nightmare. But once it was over and the dust settled, I was sitting in my car one day. I'd just driven home from work and was sitting in my car, which I just turned off. It was raining, and I was thinking about my brother Kyle, and it hit me. While I had life insurance, I did have a trust I'd put in place years ago. I had a will, healthcare directive, powers of attorney, and I thought I was all set. But then I started thinking about what I'd just gone through with my brother. And if something happened to me, first responders wouldn't know anything about my medical history, nor would they have a clue where my healthcare directive is. After all, it's sitting in a fireproof box, nice, safe, and locked up where we never look at it. My bride, Donna, would have no idea how to sign into any of my computers or server at the office. She wouldn't know where to find the details of my life insurance policies, or the spreadsheet that I used to pay all of our bills, usernames, passwords for all the websites that I use. And I spend thousands of dollars a year on research subscriptions that she'd never need if I were gone, but she wouldn't even know where to find out where they are so as to turn those subscriptions off. So it suddenly hit me in the driveway that day, after I'd recently finished picking up the pieces from my brother's tragedy, that I didn't even have my own financial house in order, and I'm a financial advisor. So that day, I promised Donna that I'd never leave her in a position where she had to go through a situation like this with our family, and my promise was to get our financial house in order. Then after getting through my task list, keeping my promise to my own family, I thought to myself, why don't I help other people do the same thing? I had the blueprint and the tools, so we started gathering materials together into something that we could help our clients with, and now I make that same promise to those who hire us. So while losing my brother was by far the worst thing that's ever happened to me, I'm taking the lessons I learned and using this experience and knowledge to help my clients promise their families that, whether they become ill or if they're just taking a quick trip to the grocery store, if they don't make it home, that their family will be taken care of as well. And by the way, if you feel maybe a little disorganized, don't worry, you're not alone. A friend of mine shared some results from a US Trust survey taken a few years ago, and the numbers go a little bit like this. 58% of people haven't organized their online passwords. 47% of people don't have an advanced healthcare directive. 72% don't have a comprehensive estate plan in place at all. 30% of those who have an estate plan have no idea where their documents are stored, and 54% of those surveyed said that they haven't told their executor or trustee how to find or access these crucial documents. Then I learned that medical malpractice is the number 3 killer in America, and not necessarily because of doctors' errors, but because of our mistakes as well. People go to the hospital without any of the information these medical practitioners need in order to save our lives. Drug interaction, of course, is high on the list. You may already be on a particular medication, let's just say. The doctor or nurse gives you a specific pain reliever, and the combination kills you. So what I've done is 2 things. First, as part of this initiative, we provide you with checklists in order to ensure you have every I dotted and every T crossed. Everything from an internet password organizer, insurance documents, investment statements, and powers of attorney, to medical information, healthcare directives, living wills, real estate deeds, vehicle and personal property titles. Secondly, we help you gather all your non-personally identifiable information, things like important details that first responders and medical practitioners would need access to, and we help you save all this information on an ICE key. So you can always have it on you, on your keychain, if the worst were to occur and the difference between life and death is perhaps one crucial little detail that otherwise might go unnoticed. Third, we use an online cloud-based piece of software to back all this information up. We call the My Promise Vault. Should anything become lost or destroyed, you have backups, and it provides redundancy in the case that you're ever out of town and you need access to any of this information remotely. And lastly, we help hold your hand through the process, walking you through every item on the checklist, making this easy and stress-free for you and your family. As the old saying goes, no one plans to fail, they simply just fail to plan. So let us be your partner through this process and allow us to help you get your financial house in order. No matter how young or old, we never quite know how much time we all have left. So thank you for taking the time to listen, and give your loved ones an extra hug today.